time to go over some regular bosses for today. Shall we, darling? I don't know a single other thing where I put more love and dedication towards than this single good game. Well, besides my friends, school stuff, and supporting others to not show how edgy I am. I mean, this beautiful mess of because echoesness was one of my first and definitely my favorite game that I played throughout my childhood, which is still going on during recording. And do I regret any moment of that? No. My undying love and frustration definitely grew after I started running the category that I love and fight it for. But this game still looks as beautiful and detailed as it can get from me. Metroid Prime 2 or the complete trilogy aren't games that are known for their well-crafted boss fights. I mean, for example, Devil May Cry 3 came out 4 months after this game. And I already talked about in German why Virgil is a well-crafted masterpiece for me. While I was in my top list phase, I only stumbled upon quotes like, Quadraxis is the best boss in this game. Boostball Guardian is worse than experiencing Lost. When somebody said that No More Heroes 1 isn't the best game of all time. You know, that kind of stuff that everybody can feel. The same feeling as when I play a intro montage. No, I'm over the shit. But I haven't heard many actual opinions about why they are so terrible, or why they are so good, or why they are so freaking mediocre. Well, time to change that. In the only possible way. A three-parter. The game pretty much divides the bosses into 3 different categories. The Guardians, the Sub-Guardians, and whatever those are. There are 15.5 bosses in this game, besides Caretaker Class Drone, Dark Samus 3 or 4, and the Dark Missile Trooper. Well, I mean, sure. I can make a 5-second boss log about the complexity of shooting the Dark Missile Trooper with a fully charged Dark Beam shot and then a missile at him. The complexity of this fight is beautiful. They are, for me and the game, kinda more like a mini-boss that is valued differently, ? And they are totally not skippable by any means. Because they are so important to their game. But I won't focus on them in that way, because I'm edgy. I will take on a different approach of dividing them. The Morphball oriented fight. The mediocre face-to-face, or more like face-to-foot combat bosses. And the ones with a big tick booty part of metal. So that will be a 3-parter. Probably the most important aspect of Prime 2 is that the combat completely revolves around your ammunition and beam system. You use it to open doors, shoot enemies, open portals, and upgrade it into even stronger beams. Like it will be way more important in later episodes, but the light and dark beam are absolutely insane in this game, and it is basically required to use them in any fight that's in the last part of the series, which are a lot. And this game heavily stands out as an FPS shooter, because not only the missiles and power bombs have ammunition, but also your usage of special beams. It's really important that the game has that, because if it wouldn't have that, they would have needed to be completely nerfed and would have either ended completely underpowered like some of the beams in Prime 1, or it would have just been like the Hyper Beam in Prime 3, which completely lacks any disadvantage or harm if you use it. Like it is right now, it gives you at least a small perspective of strategic weapon design. Until you find out that you can just get your ammunition back even if you don't have any anymore. So close. Well, it was important to go over how the usual combat in this game works. The special thing about these bosses is that the Morphball is an important inclusion to all of these fights, because you are mostly restricted to your Morphball movement, which makes you value your already restricted items. Like, that's the thing. You can get so far, and even beyond, but you need to work for it and have enough cognitive thoughts about the world and enemies around you to traverse through it. The mere concept of bosses that we discuss in this series. I just love this concept. It has a certain flow to it, which makes it interesting when it was developed well. And that's why I wanted to do these first, because I really like the concept of these bosses. But let's see how they handled it on their own. First of the three. Definitely the most tormenting nightmare of many young and adult people as well that played this game. The Boostball Guardian. When you go to her, you are currently for the 6th time in the Dark World of this game. Which means that you take around 1 damage per second. It can also be 6 if you skip Dark Suit. Well, because it's important for me to bring my speedrun knowledge into those videos, because that's who I am, I want to get the obvious out of the way for myself. You don't even have to do this boss fight. You can either just skip it completely, or just throw a power bomb against her, to just one-shot Boostball Guardian. If you are or aren't a speedrunner and know how to get power bombs, you probably have also skipped losing your items, which makes it completely irrelevant to even get to this boss, because you already have Boostball or just need to get it for the 100% completion. I can understand it if you don't want to do any of this, but there's also the other way, the glitchless way. And I mean, if you want to fight Boostball Guardian with skipping Dark Suit, you're kinda on your own, buddy. Boostball Guardian is one of these rare cases of a Dark World boss that doesn't have a safe zone at all and has no consistent way to get energy back, like on Quadraxis for example. One of the facts why this is just objectively and subjectively the hardest boss in the game, except for the parts I talk about later, is that you just don't have that much energy at this point. And nearly all of the other bosses before were just bullet sponges and didn't want to see much skill from you. But here you are now. She moves very fast and unpredictable and tries to damage you in more or less efficient ways to quickly kill you. There is her simple kick with her leg, followed by a destabilizing, which acts as a desperate moving around the small round area, not even holding you in, followed by a interdimensional shot, which is very typical for an Ing, because she is a warrior Ing after all, that absorbed the Boostball mechanic, which has to do with the lore. Inks are pack animals. They hunt for the most time, but they know when they have a disadvantage against you, when you throw your super missiles and your light beam shots into them, so that they will come back with an even greater force. And the last desperate struggle to either risk it all or die alone. There's sometimes also the chance that she spawns little inglets that can give you some energy back. But the problem is that this is very much luck based, and they mostly only appear when you are just too slow with this fight. But that can also mean that if you're too slow, that you can just die from the atmosphere. I mean, what I try to combine this all into is one single thing. The inclusion of Boost Ball in this fight. If you get her around to 3/4 of health, she will go into her slime form. But something is different. She can't be damaged. Neither while Boost Ball Guardian goes into that state, or isn't it, you can't really hit her. Her defense is only breakable by using Morphball bombs. But that is easier said than done, because she moves very fast throughout the whole area and basically rams into everything she sees, even you, multiple times. Well, basically you have only a great chance to hit Boost Ball Guardian out of that state if you wait until she's tired. But there's also another way. You can really easily manipulate Boost Ball Guardian if you position a tower between you and her. Because mostly in one of her boosts she will just try to ram into a tower, which already destroys her boost bar. The shell of her is also breakable by Morphball bombs. You can also bring her speed down by getting hit using some timing skills. But to be honest, the hitboxes are weird often. Like, you can try it sometimes, but not all the times. Don't be greedy. If you repeat those phases multiple times, Boost Ball Guardian will eventually be dead. But that is boring. Time to do it in the RNG manipulative way. In November 2017, I found a consistent setup to kill Boost Ball Guardian while she does only one round of boosting, which makes it really easy to just skip Dark Suit in its entirety, because this is one of the 3 rooms in this game where it's actually very difficult to skip Dark Suit in, but now we only have Lower Torvis and Abandoned Base left to have problems with in the glitchless section. But how do you do it? Like, the good thing is, it's not as hard as it once was. A little bit still, but not she just stays until you die in her slime form, even though she's already dead. Hard? No. Just regular. It can go wrong a few times, but it doesn't need to happen if you follow these steps to lower your time by like 10 minutes. Hard. When you enter the room, it unmorphs you. You give out 1 to 3 single light beam shots, 2 is the most consistent number, to wait until she goes in her slime form. To shoot Boost Ball Guardian with a fully charged light beam shot. Then already prepare another one with some single light beam shots after it. To shoot Boost Ball Guardian when she comes out again, to quickly deplete the health bar. If you are unlucky and miss her while she is in the slime form, you can just wait, because unless she has already too much damage, or you take your time too much, or she comes out like 4 times, you can just wait until the next cycle, because it still avoids multiple rounds of boosting, while the other thing would just cost too much time. The boosting phase is pretty much normal. You let her ram into the tower, you ram into her, you destroy the shield, that kind of stuff. After that, you either wait for her to shoot out her interdimensional beams, or goes into her slime form to shoot out a fully charged light beam shot, and then Boost Ball Guardian is dead. You can also go into the middle to get Boost Ball immediately, which is pretty nice. This is why I was so eager to find a easy manipulation, because this category is so freaking nice, and I just want to do everything for it. I need to say, you're really sweet for slaying the beast. I'm proud of you. You know what else is sweet? Spiders. Small animals are just a nice thing for me. They don't have it easy in this world, where everybody has a grudge against them. You know which spider the society also has a grudge on? Spider-Ball Guardian. Damn, I'm just a master with these transitions. You know, I'm kinda in between there. Like, I love Bosslog Guardian, but there's still enough right for me so that it's not as shitty as Block. But to understand why the Spider-Ball Guardian is universally hated, we need to look at the source. The original GameCube version. In this version he has a very scammy hitbox that not only goes a little bit around him, but way around him, which makes it not easy to go out of this fight damageless, at least the first time. There's also the little aura that changes in between different colors in different damage states. When he's blue, his face is undamaged. When he's green, he's paralyzed and intends to go blue again. And if he's red, you should probably go out of his way because his face is over now. Even if you were above, or sometimes not even close to him, there are stages like the first or the final one where it isn't a hellish abomination and it's actually fun to play through. Because they are just simple Morphball tracks, which have even a little skip that is sometimes a little clumsy to pull off. But it's mostly manageable by a double bomb jump where you delay the movement to the right at the end. The last track just consists of normal bomb jumps that have for new players a weird timing, but are not that problematic in my opinion. And the bomb jumps don't even have to be used in the trilogy version. Just try to stay away from him as much as possible, then don't let him go in that area when it isn't necessary. And you're good. Until he is dead. And you get that sweet spider booty. But I already talked about how to get the ball, when I didn't even talk about how to damage or paralyze it. All of that at the same time actually. This silly me, how could I save it for now? When the unsatanic parts of this fight are nearly over. Spider Guardian is paralyzable by activating bombs against him. That's basically it. And he gets killed when you bait him into 6 electric shock showers that are clumsy to activate because of Spring Ball, him and the time limit. And also in the last part you can just deactivate the bomb slots. But it is rather simple to see when that happens, so no worries. But I can't get around it anymore. We should need to go a little bit satanic finally. Because who in the hell thought that these room layouts would be a good idea? I mean, what did they thought? You don't have Spider Ball yet. No. You need to use those half pipes to boost through, but not to go to the key faster later. No. To actually fight this boss, where you can just damage him by taking damage yourself mostly. In the second room it looks really easy. Just go to the last part and make bam 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 until he's dead. But it doesn't work every time. And also is there the factor that you want to boost back to the side but get caught by too much speed on the right side, which happens often enough unfortunately. Just use the chance to stun him while you can and be faster when he's dead, because you will lose all of your momentum while he gets into the next phase. It's good to put that into perspective when you do this phase, because he's easily killable here in the second phase and easily killable here in the third phase, and you really don't want to fight him otherwise. Well, I mean, you can if you miss it or if you don't want to do this, but you need to actually rely on a shitty hitbox and trial and error. For real though, even if you do this casually, please I'm begging you. You don't want to do this phase. Normally. Just try to be ready to be at the right end of the stage when the second phase ends, where the arrow shows it to you right now. Because hitting him is literally a pain in the ass. Yes, even there. Being able to fall there and damage him is not as possible as it looks. So keep that in mind. It will though be freaking satisfying when you are able to see how wonderful the spider ball was implemented into the directly next boss. So if you go into all of those electro things, then you see a yellow door, which needs a lot of power. Bombs to die. And where do you get those? By not even doing this boss fight and going in both versions just out of bounds? Kinda. But what about the other way? The necessary way. Beating Powerbomb Guardian, which spawns the Sky Temple Key and Dark Aegon. Be behind this Bensium wall that I just show you. That's the fun fact reason why you do this boss fight. Yes, even you non-speedrunner glitch people, that there was 2 runs, because there's still no way to skip Sky Temple Keys. But there's now a way to skip the first phase of Metroid Prime due to my good friend Van Misser. Good job. For the other things there are only theories and every meaningful help is needed, so go to the Prime Discord if you wanna help. Okay, needed advertisement at nearly the end of the video. Check. Now Powerbomb Guardian. After the bridge that gets bridged and the short backtracking, you find yourself in this room in the dark world and fall to your unavoidable demise. Again. Woo, spooky. In this upgoing vertical room that only lets you go up by doing Morphball shenanigans or having an upgrade you're not supposed to have. The boss is a normal spore that you could have encountered 3 times before in this game, but instead of strictly targeting you with his lengthened body or his poisonous needles, he uses power bombs. It also lost its weakness to dark energy and straight up every beam, because it is invincible now and can only be damaged by giving out electric shocks from 4 certain bomb slots that are on the upper side of the room, once each. In comparison to other bosses, is the AI rather smart and knows where you want to go and shoots it in this direction, or just directly at you. And because the explosion radius of the power bombs are so big, you can get hit rather easily by just not being safety enough. On top of that, there are a lot of inglets that are acting like snipers as their only useful usage in the entire game, besides Boostball Guardian. Because otherwise, they are completely useless and don't do anything ever in this game. But here they are, perfect counters against you, because even the ones on the ground can just throw you off with their unlimited range that they have apparently for reasons that are unknown to this day. Probably it's just because of the limited movement and the compact hitbox of you, and it would have worked otherwise, but it couldn't because the rooms weren't built for it in Aegon. Well, at least it was understandable why the hitbox is the way it is. But fun fact, they can all die through the boss, even the door. By being in a round circle, the spider tracks are working a bit differently. Instead of being able to go up and down at the edge, you go dependingly to the right or left, to go very fast to another spider track and the corresponding bomb slots, which is very useful, and going up is only used on some bomb slots, since after you hit like 2, he just shits out power bombs and inglets. From the 3 fights, is this like probably the least interesting boss in the section, not the worst boss in the section. It would be Caretaker class drone, but we don't talk about those things. It is though a lot of fun if you do it skillful in my opinion, because it feels so fluid and funny, and you can even do a triple bomb jump after he gets painfully and fast pressed flat to his death, until all of his wreaths are swarming through the room, and you leave the room with the feeling of a satisfied death, while the screeching soul will forever cry in the aftermath of your action during its day in Nirvana. Yeah, you do it for the Sky Temple key. It's fun. But what can we pull out of this? 2 out of these 3 bosses are disliked because on Spider Guardian's side was his room design, including with the wacky hitbox and mostly casually wise, basically no way to know how to boost or press A correctly to set bombs, a very painful way to show how to fail a boss if you don't know what to do. But it has also the upside that it rewards skill and risky play, but can do a lot to move this boss fight forward. There are also these moments where the room layout isn't complete trash. And on the side of the Bosslog Guardian, we saw that the cycles of him aren't that random as usually thought, and are disruptible, or manipulative even, if you skip Dark Suit and doesn't have a power bomb, which makes it rather interesting, even though it can still be very hard. And we just need to take into consideration every way to do these bosses, on every skill level. And the Powerbomb Guardian just completely sleeps on consistent AIs, which just work, even though it can be really frustrating. Which gives them a very high regard from me, as a boss fan, because they're just trying the right amount, and I can't wait to go even beyond and talk about my 3 other favorite bosses soon. And Alpha Block. But in the next episode first, we will look at some other bosses that still stand in our way, before we handle the big road wallers. Wait, what the bloody hell? He said freaking stand and road rollers in one sentence? Is that a motherfucking JoJo reference?
Nani? Nice, nice! Very nice, Shiza-chan!
Damn. What a ride. 3 bosses checked. Still 12.5 to go. After a long journey to make this video, was this finally my first finished analysis video in English instead of German. I hope that all of you had a lot of fun watching this video. Hopefully as much as I enjoyed making it. In the meantime, you can go on my Twitch channel, where I really actively speedrun a variety of games, which includes Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Metroid Zero Mission, Star Fox Assault, Shadow the Hedgehog, but most importantly, the Metroid Prime series. And have always really nice people in the chat that I interact with. Or you can go on Twitter, where I actively post about what the state of future projects is, and just the current shitpost of the day. And I mean, if you would like to, I would recommend to check out Mr. Clam's YouTube channel, and more especially the currently finished analysis video series about the Dragon God and NieR franchise. Especially the ones about the NieR franchise, because he goes very deeply and very entertaining into the lore and all of the content, and he does a way better job than I did it now for the first time. Well, now that I think about it, I have NieR Automata since release and I still haven't played it. Yeah, I wanted to kinda make a short break anyways after this video, so time to play it! And with that, I wish all of you a great day and great night, and please not be an alpha block.
Will you let go of that stupid pizza already?
I can't, it's for the customer!
Who cares about the customer?
I do!
Well, I know!
Squidward.